Hello and welcome to... Audio is good? Okay. Hello and welcome to another CTL replaycast. This week we have AlpX versus TeamUR. This is another CTL replaycast, sans Snoopy. This is the first season in a while that's just me solo casting for a bit. Hopefully can get someone to join me in the upcoming weeks. But this is week 2 of the CTL again, and I'm very excited to be casting. Looks like we've got Potato, Quark, Droptimus. What's up, guys? Hope you all are having a fantastic day. See, we got some UR people in the chat. It's cool. Glad you're tuning in. And I am excited for this week. This was a very fun matchup for us. TeamUR is always a good match. Enjoy playing Cameral as well. Always a good captain. Leads a good team. This was the champion of last season CTL. I look like ice in the dark. I can see the resemblance, I guess. And what is that sound? Starry Potato is now following. Thank you. Okay. Alright, I've been rambling on for a little bit now. And yeah, so thank you all for tuning in and enjoy the replays. Okay. Our first match is going to be Richspire versus Gawain. It's going to be a PvP. Let me transition. Unfortunately, I don't have a what's it called? Webcam on in the in-game page, so it's just going to be my voice guiding you through. This was our gold slot, and this was Richspire's first week of playing. So glad to see him on new to the league playing. It's always good when we get new players, and he's been very enthusiastic, very eager to play. So I'm excited to see the results of this match and how he does. On Cyberforest. Okay, in the bottom corner here of, as I said, Cyberforest, we have the red Protoss Gawain for TeamUR. And the top, we have the purple Protoss. It is Richspire. This is a PvP, and it is the gold slot. I know Richspire is a gold. He's about 2.9k MMR at the time of his playing. I'm not 100% sure on Gawain, I forget. He could be Platinum 3, so Richspire's just about run-of-the-mill for this slot. A gold. We see a lot of Platinum 3 players in this slot as well. So we had last week, Hydro was in there. And yeah, so PvP, it can get pretty crazy, especially at lower levels. See a lot of unorthodox, very cheesy play. And it's very unpredictable in my experience, this low level or gold level PvP. Gawain came in here, got one gas steal off. Just being a little bit annoying. Gonna mess up the timing of Richspire's build a little bit. And he's going for 2 gate as opposed to Gawain went for 1. He's building the second one. It's a little bit delayed though. So Gawain, because of this gas block, because of going across the map, his build's a little bit later here. However, it is quite a large map. There's a lot of space for quite a bit of rush distance. Okay, still no production from Richspire, and decides not to pull probes to try to chip away at that gas. He is supply capped as well. He's trying to build a Stalker and a Sentry. That's something gotta watch out for, is getting supply capped. It's gonna slow his army production down a ton. Both players deciding to go for 1 sentry, 1 stalker. That's an interesting choice. Sometimes we see double stalker, double adept. I feel like we've been seeing sentries a bit more nowadays, though. It is a huge and quite a big gas investment, especially for Rich Spire, considering he only has 1 gas. See, now he's moving his stalker over. And I'm wondering why he chose not to. So, I mean, his build is going to be quite a bit behind Gawain in terms of tech. Gawain already has his robo halfway done, and it looks like Rich Spire chose to go for a much earlier Nexus. Gawain's a little bit behind, however, not significantly much. Not significantly too far behind. Gas is finally down, so we can nab that second gas. And finally, the robo is going down. So very late for him. Twilight Council is finishing up. He's going for Blink. Interesting. 2 gates at the front. So it's going to be, he's going to have 4 gates here, powering Blink. We've got Hallucinated Phoenix coming in. Very nice. Going to get a full scout. See everything. Right now we have about a 3 worker lead for Gawain. Rich Spire, even though Rich Spire got his Nexus up earlier. And I think that's due to Rich Spire not being super on top of his probe production here. He's at 15 probes, even though he didn't have one of his gases. So missing some queues on his Nexus. He's adding on 2 more gateways as well, and deciding to go for charge first. When Ob's first out of his robo, that's the safe option. Whereas Gawain is getting an immortal. He has an Ob's out as well, though, and I'd like to see him move across the map with this to try to get some scouting. Oh, my bad, he already has one across the map, so he sees exactly what's going on. And now, the thing is, Gawain will have 4-gate production and an immortal. So if he gets a pylon cross map, and he decides to try to pressure with stalker production, going to lose at Obs there, stalker production and Blink, he very well could do so with 1 immortal. Gawain has started his immortal, so, wait, sorry, excuse me, Rich Spire has not started his immortal, still only got charge coming in terms of tech, so Rich Spire is very vulnerable to an attack. Right, very soon, Gawain's going to have 2 immortals and a bunch of stalker. Thank you, Sketchy, for the 10 bits. And thank you for tuning in, man, as Landfear as well. What is going on? Rich Spire going for a quite a fast 3rd. And again, we have that Hallucinated Phoenix coming in scouting. But really, for, you know, that this is gold, but Rich Spire has not done a great job of... Wait, am I missing an obs here? Okay, you did see some. Still, this is a massive attack coming in here as 2 immortals, ton of Blink Stalkers. I think this will crush Rich Spire here. Immortal is nowhere near being out. He has 2 robos here, and it looks like he might go for... He's going to go for disruptors, I think. If he gets some really nice disruptor shots, that could be clutch. He's transferring a ton of probes over to the 3rd, so his probe production has been pretty good. He's got a 16 worker supply lead, but his army is vastly inferior here. There's 2 immortals, Blink Stalkers. I don't see any way of Rich Spire winning this game. Yeah, there's actually nothing here, so this should be GG from Rich Spire here. He has a warp in of Charged Zealots here, which will do nicely against the Stalkers for a second or 2. And his GG's called. And Gawain will beat Rich Spire. Hello, Summer Lemur. What's going on, man? Sketchy put me in, coach. Wait, are you? I thought you crossed the you're in Masters 1, right? Yeah. CTL is M2 and under, so. Unfortunately, you were born ready. I believe you, man. Okay. My Terran is M2. Okay. Unfortunately, I have to log in every time because these are old reps. So next we're going to go to Axis. Where is his match? Repugnancy? Nope. There we go. Axis versus Edson. Edson, just an OG for TeamUR. I think they will all agree. Was the gold slot player forever for them. So I mean, there's CTL experienced players, and then there's Edson, who just has seen everything that there is to see in this gold slot for CTL. M2 Terran is like GM Protoss. That's Salt coming out for Landfear, whining about the TVP balance already. Predictable. Okay, in the bottom corner of King's Cove, we do have Edson for TeamUR as the... Oh, I screwed that up pretty badly. In the top corner, we have the blue Terran, Edson. And in the bottom corner, we have the orange Zerg, Axis. Axis has quite a bit of experience as well, I should say. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Edson has more, but Axis still been in there for a very long time. Playing since season 17 at least, possibly 16. And a very quick scout, I believe. So what is Axis going to do? Okay. AlpX Axis, yeah. Surprisingly enough, though, I got to update the score. Axis was in here when we were branded PsyX, so as much as that would have been nice to be a coincidence, it is not. Or sorry, it is just a coincidence. My bad. Yes, Axis has been with us for such a long time. Before me. The only difference between a silver toss, oh, the salt already, and a GM toss, the silver toss tries to play outside the meta, and the GM toss just tries to play the top 3 builds. Ooh, so much bitter Zerg and Terran tears in the chat right now. It's funny how it doesn't pan out in the top tournaments, though. Terran seems to be doing fine. Okay, Axis went for a speed build. Sorry, he got his speed. I missed the timing. I was reading chat, but that's what I get. And it looks like Axis, man, going to be coming in with that crisp third timing. Hopefully. It's a little bit low on minerals, so it's not going to be super crisp, but this is one of the things that me and the people who are coaching up these players at these lower levels, the gold, platinum, low platinum levels, is getting those timings. So it came about 25 seconds later. However, if he had optimized his build a little bit, I'm sure that he would have been able to throw it down at that 230 mark. So I like the direction Axis is going in, for sure. Edson is going for a wall off here. I like it. It's a very choky, natural entrance. And I'm expecting Hellions here shortly from Edson. See, okay, that's a very fast third CC. Okay. Axis does have one Overlord here. However, cannot see the third from that distance, of course. So he needs to move it over here to this ledge so we can spot that third, because if he sees that, he can take advantage of that. Potentially. Just droning up. Here, no sort of army production yet, no tech here. I know I'm expecting Axis to go for Banes here. Oh no, as I say that, he throws down a Roach Warren. He's got Spores on the way as well. I like that. I'm predicting probability of Banshees, and it looks like we might get Banshees if we see a little Swaparino. Have to keep an eye on that. Hellions out, so I expect those to poke in shortly. Axis has a decent amount of queens here, so should be able to defend that. The third base, he does need to watch a bit though. And it looks like we'll be a Viking for Edson. Okay, so going for that Pulp Viking. Smart, I like that a lot. Use it to clear out Overlords. Get some map presence. I really would like Axis to move this Overlord over so he could see the tech of Edson. As well, moving the Overlord over here revealed that that's probably why Edson went for the Viking, is because he was able to see that there was fresh meat in that corner of his base. Axis production seems to be slipping a little bit. It looks like he's going to be going for a roach push here. However, he's down about 10 workers, which is not ideal in TVZ at all. On top of that, Edson does have a 3 orbital mule production, so quite the economy for Edson. I like the creep spread from Axis. Doing nicely. We've got some 9 drones morphing, so that worker lead is going to be cut a little bit. Still, though, a worker deficit for Zerg, never good. And although we got a couple Hellions that are just poking around, I missed if they did any damage. Doesn't look like it. Let's see, units lost. We can check that, Korg. Yep, okay. And it's gonna be bio for him. PC stem seems late, but it's the upgrade actually being finished that counts, right? So I expect with a 3-base economy, double medevac production, it is going to be a biomass up for Edson. Right now, he is floating minerals. However, he has a nice worker count. He's getting double eBay. His production is slipping now. He needs to start producing out of these barracks and this starport. Looks like he is focused on the mutas that, sorry, not mutas, Hellions that were in the middle. So looks like his attention was diverted. Yeah, still the bank is rising for Edson. Quite unfortunate. 1-1 started, and there we start to see some army production. So Edson is pretty fragile right now. If Axis had some scouting presence, I would have liked. This 30 could probably pounce on just a handful of Marines and Hellions right now before this bio machine really gets started, and has to wait for reactors to be added as well. So I would like Axis to be a little bit more out of the map, looking for opportunities to poke in. However, he has droned up nicely. He's up to 59 drones. He does have an army supply lead. A lot of it is in Lings though. So what will his tech of choice be? Looks like just a Roach Warren for now. No Evos yet. Getting his 4th base. Nice. However, he needs to start thinking about what's his next tech choice going to be. Getting Roach Speed, a Hydrodent, and so it's Baneling Nest. I assume that was supposed to be later. and Hydroden and Spire. He's getting a little bit of everything here. I would like Mutas in this position to be in harassment. However, it does leave you a little bit vulnerable because when he's going mass bio, it is very difficult to engage the Terran one-on-one. So the problem is, though, if you have enough mutas and you're good enough at controlling them, you can just forever keep dodging the Bioforce and just go for the workers. Force out a ton of missile turrets as well. Massive bank up here for Edson. And again, we see that army supply lead vanishing for Axis as Edson is kicking into that economy. Axis, again on his 4th base, transferring drones. He's building Hydras. He's got Hydra speed. Roach speed is finished. So it looks like he's going to be going in for a big Hydra Roach bio attack. I still would like Axis to be scouting, seeing exactly what Edson's going, as really Axis didn't get much vision of really anything Edson has been doing for the past 10 minutes or past 6 minutes or so of this game. A very late baneling speed as well, so it's going to be the tier 2 force for Axis. No mutas yet, though we could have a long-term plan of going for Broodlords. 4th base for Edson is on the low ground, so quite exposed to Axis attacking. And all's well, we have +2 started for Edson. I think Edson might try to push out with +2. That's going to be a pretty strong push. He has army supply lead over Axis. He's only about 30 supply away from maxing. So this could get scary for Axis because his production hasn't been great. He's keeping his minerals low, however, which is good, but if he doesn't really have a bank, then he can't produce much on Larva if he loses this. So Edson is moving out. He will have +2 by the time he attacks. And it looks like for Axis, +1 missile attacks will likely be done. Carapace probably will not, however. Here are the Corruptors, and I don't think he's going to be able to morph. So he's going to be just going with some Corruptors for missile turrets for now, I guess. And it looks like he will be maxed as well. Ooh, okay, the Medivacs and Liberators are actually getting way ahead of the army, so if Axis sees this, he could pounce, and it'll be devastating to lose all that high mana Medivac. Thank you, Sniper, that is a range upgrade. I think I meant that, but something else might have came out of my mouth. Okay, it looks like Edson here, kind of coming in the line. This would be great if there were more Banes. Some great Banelink connections, however. So nicely done. Axis looks like, though, he doesn't quite have enough, though. The Corruptor's putting in a lot of work on the Medivacs. However, that's a lot of Stim Marines charging forward. We've got 56 Lings on the production tab. However, he's going to need Banelings to engage this many. He loses his 4th base. That's a big loss for Axis. He's got Banes morphing on the way. He's got to hold off until then. He needs to transfuse with these Queens to buy himself some time, and oof, doesn't quite have the APM to transfuse his Queens. He's fighting with drones. Why are you doing this, Axis? He's trying to buy time, but just throwing away a bunch of drones there. Very unfortunate. Looks like Edson picks up with a Medivac full of units, and he gets 2 bases and an absolute ton of drones in that engagement for a Bioforce. So he will take that trade any day of the week. Gonna lose these tanks here, it sucks, but it doesn't really matter at this point, because we've already got another detachment of Bio moving out. He did keep the Corruptors alive, however, there's not too much you can do with them at this point. this point, excuse me. Third base thrown down again. So we've got something being rebuilt for Axis. However, 4-base Terran so scary. And even though Edson's not doing a great job of spending his minerals, can use another 4 barracks most likely. It looks like he's adding on a few here. Ooh, starports. Maybe a BC transition, perhaps. Edson doing a very good job of producing. On a 4-base economy, can be tough to manage his Terran. And at this level, at this gold, low platinum level, if you're just really consistent in making a bunch of units off of 3-4 bases, it's going to be hard for any player to stop. It looks like Axis just was under-teched. He needed more banelings in that situation, and he needed better larva production as well. The thing for Edson is that this army is still pretty squishy, this much bio against a Bane heavy force, which is why I like that he's transitioning to Thors, and it looks like he's going to be doing something here. Those are reactors, so he's going to be building Vikings. Looks like he's going to be building Vikings. He specs Broodlords, it looks like. However, there's going to be Ultras for Axis's tech of choice. Those are going to be out, but there's a lot of bio here, and Thors as well, which, even though it looks, I think Edson is suspecting a Broodlord force, it is going to be Broodlords. Massive Baneling hits for Axis, very nicely done, but again, he doesn't really have any follow-up here. Axis had his army was a ways from being maxed, so basically he has one hurrah of Baneling detonations, and that is it. He's done a good job of spending his money, just hasn't had enough to engage this with this many tanks, this many Thors. It's too much to ask for Axis to clean up this game. The Ultralists are finally here. They are too late. Looks like these Thors might get cleaned up. Thor's not too good against Ling Ultra. Banelings, those tanks just ate those Bane shots, man. Nice munch on the tanks. And Axis will clean up that force, but again, Edson. It looks like Edson finally burned through his bank. He's actually mining out of quite a number of spaces, adding a 5th base. Seems a little bit late. He's got 70 workers plus mules, so he's not mining super efficiently. Thank you, House Quark, for the subscription. Love that Pikachu emote. With a tier 1 sub, thank you. They've given 20 gift subs in the channel. Oh, sorry, that was Sniper. Okay, Sniper gifted a sub to House Quark, but it showed up on the what's it called? The dialogue screen as being House Quark. So thank you, Sniper. And it looks like Axis sending a detachment of Lings to this 5th, which is a nice move. About 10 minutes too late, though. We need that Ling aggression earlier in the game. And Edson is going to be maxed here very shortly. Looks like Wisely just picking up and dropping his troops to safety here. Not taking any damage. Those Corruptors do not want to fly into Thor range here. And Edson is going to set up a slow and painful push into this 4th, which is being rebuilt for the 2nd time. Axis canceled it, as he knows there's no chance of getting that back. Edson is in very big danger of completely mining out here. However, he's confident that he can win this game. on what he has, and that is true. However, you want to keep adding bases on, and that's the thing that I like from Axis, is the fact that he's doing that, even though it is too late. But the concept of it is very good, because at this level, I think I talked about it last stream, but of course, it's one thing just to send a detachment to kill it, but then a lot of times players forget to resend a SCV right after that attack has happened, so it usually has a continued effect based on, depending on how good the opposing player is at remembering to rebuild something. And it, in this case, Edson is basically mined out here, aside from that one base. Simming in here, got plenty of floors, and this is a nice army from Axis that he's managed to rebuild, getting some really good Baneling connections, very strong. However, the Thor's buffing a lot of that damage, and is that an offensive GG? Oof. I know Axis is extremely manner. Okay, yeah, so sure Edson didn't mean it that way, and I'm sure Axis is fine with that, but I know some players would get quite tilted at seeing that GG come out before they type it in. I know I do as well. It makes me way more likely to prolong the game by building buildings around the map, and people offensive GG me. And thank you, Snoopy, for the 10 bits, saying 20 gift subs. Sniper SC is the Santa Claus of our Twitch channel. It's very true. He is great. 20 gift subs. That's all. That's it. Very impressive. Ice Prelude watching on mute. So I guess it doesn't matter if I say 8. Then it's like I get the point. You don't like my voice, Ice. Okay, so we've got next Wizards game. Wizard versus Ondot. Ondot. We're gonna go back to in-game. Wow, it's super dark. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know if you guys can even see my face in this webcam. I just saw that it looked super dark. That's like an offensive GG to Gorg. Hey, I'm in this stream, but I just want to let you know I'm not listening to you. That's right, Snoopy. Okay. We are currently down 0-2 in this series, unfortunately. But good job to both the TeamUR players for winning those 2 sets. And at the bottom corner of New Repugnancy, we've got the Red Zerg Wizard. I hope he's in the chat. I believe he is. I believe I saw him earlier. Okay. And at the top corner of Ondot, we have the Orange Terran player. Sorry. Falling apart. Okay, in the top corner of New Repugnancy, we've got Ondot from TeamUR. My dreams are so vivid. It's true. It's funny because you bring that up, because I like never dream except for I started waking up at a weird time. The only time I remember a dream, because apparently people told me that you dream every night, you just don't remember it, is that when I get woken up suddenly. It's the only time I remember dreams. So someone woke me up suddenly the other day, and I remembered the weirdest vivid dream. And so it looks like... Alright, sorry, I gotta stop reading chat. I'm getting too distracted. Okay, so TVZ on New Repugnancy. Cool map. I think it was one of the more vanilla maps of the pool. Kind of that, you know, cross position style. Not too exciting in my opinion. I like the bigger, the 4-player maps, more like the old school maps. And Kidnot01 is now following. Thank you very much, man. I think kind of a member who's, or not member, I don't, maybe ex-member, I'm not sure, but been in the Discord for a long time, in and out. Ooh, this is a big pickup here. Andot moving his Reaper in, gonna snipe the 3rd drone. That's a very big deal, as that was gonna be a relatively fast hatch, 235, 240. Ooh, if he snipes us again, this would be brutal. Oh, can he get it? Oh, he gets it. That would be brutal if he lost it again. So, nice job from Andot delaying that. I assume it's not an and-datched. I'm assuming that it's silent. And we did just pick up a Latin American division. I'm curious, does that include South America, or is it just Central America? I'm curious. Because I'm not 100% sure, because I know if, just from, like, if Latin is people who speak Latin languages, then I guess that would include everyone who speaks Spanish, because that is a Latin language. But I'm not sure if it's just Central America. Latin, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. And I guess it would include French-speaking nations as well, like Haiti. Alright, so looks like we have, from Andot, we got a 1-1-1 build, and going for, I thought it was going to be Widowmine drop, but deciding to go for a Viking instead. I like this from the TeamUR Terran players. And poking in with 4 Hellions, not going to be getting anything. If he swings around to the 3rd, that is a pretty naked and undefended drone. However, not going to do so. Got a Viking coming out as well. Like I said, I like this from TeamUR players. I think it's a very strong move. Getting that Hold Viking, as I guess I would consider it, because he used to do it a ton, but that fast Viking, clear overlords, get map presence, and keep the Zerg in the dark, make them have to work for their scouting information. And it's going to be Cloaked Banshee. Wizard as well, going to be going for Ling Bane and Evo Chambers in the main. I would have liked them at the natural to give himself a little bit of a wall. Ooh, this is okay. Almost a very clutch pickoff from Wizard. I'm trying to catch those Hellions out of position. Like I said, those drones undefended here at this 3rd, and these Hellions wreaking havoc. Some Lings trying to get on top of them. And it was not to be, however. So, Hellions are going to be retreating, having done quite a bit of damage. Some Lings, some drones, some APM wasted from Wizard. And it looks like Wizard is supply capped now, as that Viking got another Overlord kill. It looks like that's going to be a hard supply block, meaning after he saw he was supply blocked, he built another Overlord, so it's quite a long time. Worker production looks like it's even. The 3rd is being produced now for Andot. This is looking a little bit more like a standard TVZ than last game. Cloak Banshee coming in here as well, getting a lot of damage. The Overseer is morphed, but the only anti-air is a Queen that is very low on HP. It looks like he has another queen birthing rather. There's a spore here. That will take care of that. Spore at the natural as well. So just more harassment damage done by Andot. Fourth base is going up for Wizard. That's a nicely timed fourth, going down before Andot's third is even up. And it looks like we're going for a mech style from Andot. Okay, very excited to see mech. I'm a big mech fanboy. So far we've got a lot of tanks, some banshees. But interesting to see the possibility of players, you know, going for a bit heavier of a banshee commitment. And man, with Andot keeping these Hellions alive, they're still proving very useful this late into the game. Just gonna poke around. There's quite a few queens here, so likely not gonna get much damage. But still, killing Lings, a couple of drones, forcing out more Lings, possibly before Wizard wants to build them here. Very nice efficacy from those Hellions. As I was saying, the cool seeing that, I'm trying to remember, in the WCS Americas bracket, some players, maybe it was just one player, to be honest, I believe Time going for the Banshee style later. It was specifically against Swarm hosts, I guess, but still interesting to think of Banshees as a possible late game switch. I think that's a very cool idea. Thank you, Sniper, for the host. Much appreciated. I like that little emote. Charizard, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle. We've got tank Cyclone production here, so very nice for Andot. He's got an army supply lead as well. The 4th CC from Axis is floating down, so we will be on base parity very shortly for Wizard, and Wizard will start to have to think about getting his 5th base. These are Platinum players: Star, Hunter. This slot could be Andot, could be Diamond 3. Because this slot is 3, 6, 5, 4 MMR and lower, or being in Diamond 2 or lower. But I'm interested in seeing these guys, I like seeing these guys going for a bit of a more laid-back macro game. Meanwhile, it looks like Andot with more Hellions. This is quite a number of Hellions, but just getting a ton of damage done, roving around the map, getting map control. They might get quite a bit done at this 4th as well. That's a low ground 4th. It's going to be quite easy for the Hellions to jump in here and snipe. It's why Wizard is getting his Spine Crawler here. But like I said, Wizard's really going to start to need to think about getting a 5th base or start doing some harassment damage. And right now, he's not doing anything much. He's just allowing Terran to turtle up, get more and more CCs, and get this really strong mech ball army. He was down in workers as well. I think this is going to be a very strong Cyclone push out. No problem. Ice Prelude, thank you for tuning in. I guess you're tuning in visually only, so it doesn't even matter. But still, thank you for tuning in, though. And losing more Overlords in the middle of the map. Luckily, didn't supply Cap Wizard. He had quite a buffer of Overlords. However, at least he knows this is coming. So the 5th base is down, and I've been a little bit distracted. So in terms of other tech, what we've got going here is pretty much just Hydra-Ling Bane here, which can be quite strong. And I mean, the DPS from this Hydras is very insane. I'm a little bit surprised to see this move out without even the threat of any tanks. This is just a very mobile force from Andot, and he's not even engaging with tanks. So far, this has been a strong trade. Oh, please don't go up. Wizard, please don't. No. Okay, Wizard needs to turn back. Wizard taking a bunch of tank shots there at the end, but up to a point, he had been very cost effective with this engagement. Just turning on, killing a bunch of aliens and cyclones with that high DPS Hydras. The question I have is, does he have Hydra speed? And it doesn't look like it. Yeah, those Hydras are moving so slow. He needs to get Hydra speed most ASAPly, or else he's going to get outmaneuvered here in the middle of the map against these Cyclone Hellion armies. We've got the pit coming down. So what will our tech of choice be for Mr. Wizard? Looks like he's got some upgrades. Okay, sorry. Andot has +2 vehicle weapons, Blue Flame and Cyclone upgrade. Pretty sure. Yes, it is not you, Wizard. He is missing that speed upgrade. That could be crucial. And now luckily he caught it. That's the Hydra speed. There we go. It's finished now. But Wizard, man, sorry, Andot. This is just very strong play from a Terran at this level. Not engaging. I think a very common mistake from players is forcing engagements when they don't need forced. So I really like that Andot is biding his time here, just continuing to power up on more and more bases. He's on 4 bases right now. He's got his 5th, 6th, and 7th base up and ready, whereas Wizard is on 5. Okay, so that was a very strong engagement. This is a very strong engagement from Wizard. Moving up with the Hydras, so much DPS here, and he's taking a lot of damage from the tanks, but this is still a good trade from him. That was all of his tanks, all of his army, and he's going to be able to deny this base. Wizard is here. Alex Rizik, that is him, right? Glad to see that you could catch his game. That was a great engagement with the Hydras. However, not a ton gained because Andot's production is quite stark. They're both players are banking it a bit naturally here. However, he's got 2 more bases on the way, so that didn't really do much in this game. In the grand scheme of the game, I should say. And as for Andot, he's going for BCs. Interesting. I mean, against this very heavy Hydra force, that could go very poorly. However, if he's using it mainly as a terms of a diversion tactic, warp 2 BCs in the main while you engage the army, that can be quite strong. And Wizard still has an army supply lead, so he's going to be moving out here. And I think he can easily take a fight here, and I'd like to see him start to pressure. This is I think what Wizard's been really lacking previously, is he's not been harassing nearly enough. He's basically let Terran get up to 4 or 5 bases very easily without any pressure. He's taking great fights so far, and this is a good fight as well, fighting up the ramp with Hydra. He needs to pull back now though, and yeah, he's taking heavy losses because the tanks are up. Once the tanks are sieged, he needs to move up, and he can't take that fight. Again, I mean, this Wizard's on, sorry, Andot, keep confusing them. It's on his 5 base economy plus mules. That's just so strong for a mech Terran. Wizard's on 5 bases as well. And again, Wizard takes pretty good fights. However, it's just Hydra, and he's not trading well. Okay, Wizard, this is what I feared. I think the culprit is a 6K bank. That is insane. I'm not trying to be overly critical here, but that's going to, I mean, when you have a 6K bank, it means that you could have had several maxed armies previously, even if it's just a bunch of Lings, Banes, and be throwing it at the Terran, forcing them to multitask. So, yeah, that's, he just burned through a lot of it there on Hydras, but still. And And this is going to be brutal, that tank siege. This is the thing here, is that Andok can make these slow, painful pushes up. He's got Corruptors here, which are nice. However, that's a lot of DPS here. We've got Thors, we've got Thors and Cyclones as well, so very strong. Yeah, Wizard, there's not a chance of engaging up here, buddy, so he's going to have to go home. And looks like BCs were warped. He's going to lose that BC. I don't think it was too effective. Still wasn't a nice diversionary tactic. Wizards coming in here. Andok weirdly kind of split up his army into two little groups, and that did not go too well for him. However, tanks on the high ground. Oh no, this is painful. Zerg army is just melting here. There's nothing he can do. He's got a whole another army on the way. However, the problem is that really any trade is still pretty good for Andok because he's banking money right now, and he's producing a lot. He's on 5-6 bases, so it's really hard for Wizard to make good trades that really hurt him. Now this is a good trade here. Lings for a bunch of tanks and Thors. So this is very strong. However, I fear the economy is too much. So I think just some takeaways. I know this game is not over. However, Wizard strong engagements. His Hydra play has been very strong, but I think he backed that up with earlier harass and harass throughout the game as well. Get Broodlords out. However, there were no Hydras to protect, so a round of Vikings or two, which may already be at somewhere. No, actually, Andot's army is quite small. He's not been doing the greatest job of rebuilding it, even though he has an insane income. I guess it's not too insane. This is pretty late in the game. He's mined out of a lot of bases. So this very extra base from Andok is getting gunned down. A couple of Broodlords dying. Cyclones, but they're exposed and undefended. However, that was a very, I don't want to underemphasize it. That was a very costly mech army that he threw away. A couple of Vikings here, though, are going to clear that out. And there's really, things are pretty wide open here for Wizard, for Andok. If Wizard keeps pushing at the throat of Andok here, he can make that work if he keeps making trades. There are two things he needs to do very quickly, though. He needs to start pressuring those mining bases that Andok has left, so he can't keep producing, and needs to take a strong engagement here. I'm not sure if Wizard fully knows. Okay, he does. Never mind. He has vision of that. So again, this game is not over. This mech army is very costly produced, takes a long time to produce as well. And Wizard looks like he's going to swing down and hit these two bases. Again, third's basically mined out. There's nothing at the natural. So it's really these two bases for for Andok left. And Wizard's expanding as well. It's also, mining a little bit less quickly than Andok is. So he does have a chance. And that's the thing, is Wizard just hesitating a little bit. It's giving time for Andok to get his army down here. Although the first stragglers are going to get picked off by this Hydra force. This planetary finishes before it's going to be brutal. That one planetary in the back is buffering a lot. He cancels that, and that's the thing, is there's a lot of Andok has had a lot of time to build up an army, and he's got BCs, he's got quite a few Cyclones, so the mass repair is going to be too strong. I would like to see Banelings the next time he goes in to attack that base, because the mass repair is going to be a threat. Wizard getting that 6th base online. It's good getting that economy up. Wizard does seem to be getting pretty broke, though. And just losing these Broodlords are very costly. These Thors, yeah, I don't think Wizard can dive in there quite yet. I'd like to see Wizard pull back, try to establish another base, and then go in with a strong Baneling attack. He can also pressure in this third up here because the army of Andoct is all down at the south. That is a ton of SCVs. He's got 73 workers. Andoct now has 3 BCs he can try to warp in as well. He's got a very large Thor force as well. And it looks like he's going to be trying to take that base. However, Wizard is already established there. I think that's going to become one of the major next points of contention. As Wizard can really... He doesn't have to take a fight here. He can back up, and he can try to take a better fight. Because this base is mined out. He's not really gaining anything by having it. The tech is all up here, so he can wait a little bit. He doesn't need to worry really about defending this base. There's nothing to defend. Andoct is marching up here, and that's not going to be a good fight for him. Neither player, the defender's advantage is quite strong with this composition. Attacking into the high DPS Hydras or something like a siege tank line is going to be a nightmare. We finally have this conflict of bases coming up here, and here's the fight. This is going to be crucial. But so far, this army is so strong for Andoct, especially the anti-air. I'd like to see Wizard abandon that, because there's so many Thors and so many Vikings that it's not going to be effective at all. This is a very unfortunate. Wizard is going to lose this base, and this mining base as well is very threatened. Wizard is moving forward to try to smash these bases, and it will likely force a pullback. Yeah, it's pulling back, so very strong move for Wizard to attack these bases while Andoct is pressuring his base. However, there's no Baneling, so this mass repair could actually hold off for a ridiculously long amount of time. We see with the Corruptors attacking it too. Okay, it's not going to last very long at all. So that base is gone. We see BC's warping down and the massive Thor force. So Wizard is going to... He can't really take this fight right now. He needs more. Getting that base was strong damage for sure. And it doesn't look like he's going to lose too much on the retreat. But he's really just building Lings at this point. And I think that's a bit of a mistake because Lings are going to be good to trade at mining bases. However, against this many Thors, it's not going to be super strong. Excuse me, he needs to morph them to Baneling is what I'm saying. It's going to be a much stronger army composition at this point. So Andoct is going to try to push up and take this base. The thing is that there's nothing really here for him to gain. Meanwhile, Wizard's attacking his base. Nothing here again. However, he can get on top of the production of Andoct as well. And this is really bad. He's going to lose all these Corruptors here. Man, that's really rough. I'm starting to like Andoct's position. Wizard's prediction more and more. He's going for this desperation fight, which I don't think he needs to. However, I think at this moment in time, Wizard's actually in a better position because the army of Andoct is kind of transferring around in the middle, very indecisive. And meanwhile, Wizard is still mining. Andoct really isn't mining at all. He's establishing a new base, but he doesn't have much in the way of mining here. Meanwhile, this Ling trade is very strong. The floodgates are open. That is very correct, Wizard. The Lings are in the... thing is, there's so many Thors. Although it's very tempting to go for the tech, to go for the production facilities, that was very strong, don't get me wrong. I just think that going for this last base and getting a lot of those SCVs would have been a bit stronger. Maybe I'm wrong. However, yeah, this is chaos in the base, and there's no production facilities, so I think I am wrong. I think going for the production facilities was the right choice. The real question of the day, though, is that can Wizard hold on long enough to get enough production out? So far, he doesn't have much army. He's getting a ton of Lings. He needs to morph this into Banelings. And he needs some anti-air as well. He needs to get some Hydras in production very quickly. Oh, so this mining base is not being utilized very well. He's got a lot of idle drones that he could be mining that base with. This CC looks like it's going to burn up if he's not careful. And this is the army of Andok. This is pretty much what you see is what you get here. However, the army of Andok is very pitifully small here. And it looks like he's pulling the boys. He knows that this is it here. Because it's going to be... Actually, he's got factories here. So he's going to be able to produce things very quickly. Oh, and this is huge! He's getting it while the planetary upgrade is going on, so he loses that CC. So now there really is no mining for Andot. And he's getting onto that last base. This, I don't think... It's so brutal because right now I think Wizard has tactically won the game. However, I don't think he's going to be able to produce enough to kill this army. And that's a problem, is a lot of the larva in production is right there. He's producing just lings. He might be able to go for a base race at this point. Yeah, I think Wizard can win. He just needs to send a bunch of drones to a bunch of different places immediately. There's no... Okay, there are SCVs with this force, however. So I think Wizard's strategy, and my bad, this is Terran, I forgot we can float all the buildings, so it's going to take forever. There's scrubbers on the production, but that's going to slow the time down needed for Wizard to kill all the buildings by quite significantly. Meanwhile, Wizard's going to lose all his tech, everything here, and he really needs to start getting something going. Man, so Wizard can get all these buildings here. However, it's 4 corruptors, and where are they is the question. Oh, they're in the wrong spot. Okay, this is very unfortunate. He needs to move the corruptors up here now. Although I think it's just a game of time at this point. He does not have any minerals for another CC. He can build a refinery, though. And he's just hunting for those buildings with the corruptors. There he goes. He sees him, so these buildings are going to go down pretty fast. But meanwhile, Andot, he doesn't have too many bases left. If I was Wizard, I would send a couple of drones across map right now. I think Wizard's won this because he's going to have some money for another refinery or a couple refineries. Wait a second. Okay, he's building a depot here in the middle. This is the last stand, though. So that CC is gone. So basically, this is the very last This is the very last building for Andot. Oh, this is good. This is going to be crazy. So, I think that if Wizard amasses his army and just... Okay, not like this, though. Okay, he needs to do it on one coordinated effort. Oh, is he going to get it? He's going to get it! Wizard has won the game. GG, well played. Very nicely done. And unfortunately for Andot, time is going to expire. It's a very frustrating way to lose a game, but it's a 30-minute game, and GG is called. Man, Wizard, very well played. Gonna get that game. That was a fun macro TVZ. Haven't seen quite that long of a macro game in CTL for a very long time. So very well played, Wizard. Congratulations. That was a well-earned win. Andok's play is very strong, and just be very proud of yourself. Ooh, looks like... Did my StarCraft crash? No, it looks like we're loading. Thank you for the follow, Wizard. Very much appreciate it. And StarCraft's taking forever to load. Here we go. And I'm going to take a very quick break, everyone. I will be right back. Have to use the bathroom very quickly. And when I come back, we are going to move on to our Diamond 2 slots. Alright, I'm back. And let's see. How have the other games been? That was our first win, so we are 1-2 now. And thank you for the subscription, AlpX, aka Wizard. Alright, so I'm just going to jump back into our in-game real quick. Okay, next game is going to be Potato Pleb versus Metan Oya. Yeah, that was quite a long game, longer than we see typically for CTL, but I'm cool with that. It's nice to see longer games. Maybe not every slot, but still. So, as I said, we are moving into our Diamond 2 and below slots. Alright, in the top corner of Kairos Junction, we have the green Terran, Potato Pleb. And at the bottom, we have the blue Terran as well, Metan Oya. I'm just going to call him Met. And we got a TVT. TVT is fun. I personally enjoy it. I think TVT it's interesting. A lot of people don't like it, and I believe that TVT is significantly more fun to watch than it is to play. I think that's kind of how it works. Because I know to play, the coin flippy nature of it can be agonizing. However, it is quite entertaining, as it just feels very, I don't know, not as gimmicky. It feels very much cause and effect type of a feeling when you have mirror matchups in this game. But right off the bat, we have Potato Pleb with a double racks proxy in the middle of the map. Very strong. He thought only Maru could do it. Potato Pleb comes in here and gonna get a scout, so he knows this is happening now. What will his reaction be? Will it be a bunker? Okay, factory. Right, if this is Reaper, then bunker would not be much use. So factory right off the bat. And it is going to be a double proxy racks Reaper. And I like this a lot. I think proxy Reaper is quite strong. And I'm assuming the goal of Met is just going to be to get a tank / a Cyclone out as soon as possible. And for Potato Pleb, just to mass up some Reapers and be able to get a decent amount of damage done. So we'll be helling out for Metan, and looks like going to be throwing down 2 bunkers, interestingly enough. So it's two Reapers versus 1 for now, and not quite sure how that didn't work out for him, I don't think. So the Hellion is out as well, and that Reaper caught getting damage down onto that bunker. Man, thought I cleared my voice, but still pretty scratchy and slides up and down. Okay, so we've got Reaper production coming in. So wasn't too strong, what we've seen, and I don't think it's going to be able to do much. We do have a supply cap, which is nice, but I don't think that Potato is going to be able to get too much more damage here. The thing is, Hellions are quite squishy. You know, not the strongest option versus Reaper, but still, when you get 2 of them out, you can just still zone it in. We've already got a CC coming down here. And yeah, Potato Pleb's thing is that when you do this little damage with this proxy Reaper, you're so far behind. So, I think this is going to be a tough game for Potato from here on out. He's actually moving across the map with this Hellion. Reaper Force has to try to find those barracks. They're floating back now, but he has a factory in production and a CC as well, smartly building it on the high ground. It's actually going to be finished before Mets will. And Starport coming out for Met as well. Reaper's jumping up here, trying to get some damage. However, they were in range. Sorry, Potato's Reapers were in range of the Hellions. So, man, Met is taking a great trade, getting Reapers. Oh my goodness. I mean, there's actually going to be nothing here for quite a while because it's just one factory producing a Cyclone. So there's going to be no army here for until that Cyclone pops, which means this Reaper has free range of SCVs. This Hellion, they can start chipping away at that depot. Okay, Met was wasting a bunch of seconds getting damage down on that gas, but he's still delaying mining time, getting an SCV or two. It's very strong. The Cyclone is out now, so now this will push back, but still even more damage to an already bad situation for Potato. We got a Raven coming out from Met, interestingly. However, I think that's gonna be strong because Potato's gonna be so weak to harass at this point that throwing down auto turrets is gonna be another thing he has to deal with. And again, even though his natural was before, he hasn't been able to get it off until just now. Whereas, and look at that worker count, Met is 10 plus workers ahead, so very strong position for him. Looks like he's trying to go for a biotank. Getting Stim, and his Raven will be out soon. Potato going for Raven as well, interestingly. Okay. We're going to try to get ahead with some harass. However, there will be 2 Vikings out, so that could go very poorly for Potato if he's not careful. It's a lot of gas invested for both players. As we see a lot of bio production here. Low gas units. And looks like another Raven gonna be produced for Potato Pleb. Interestingly enough, Met only went for 1 Raven and is now going into Vikings. And continuing to produce Vikings as well, past just 2. Good scan from Potato, seeing everything that's going on here. So he knows that this army is very strong for Met, and Met can probably get a siege location at this natural and start pushing in as he's moving across the map now. So I don't see a way of Potato getting out of this easily, and it's going to be a tough job to hold this. Met wisely scanning here. He's not going to take any silly losses. But these tanks, I believe, are going to be in the range of maybe that mineral patch and that depot. This Vikings smartly giving him sight range, and that Raven in the back gathering mana. There is a repair on that. Ooh, and it looks like Met got very close to losing one of those Ravens. And now we see shelling on this natural is commencing. Meanwhile, Met is getting his own third, getting farther and farther ahead. Production from Met is quite strong. We've got about a 30 army supply lead. Met is going to have to try to make, Potato's going to have to make some sort of desperate last-ditch attempt to get out. Stimming forward here, getting some value from this. Not a ton. It actually really was hit pretty poorly. However, getting some SCVs here at the end is strong, just simply because Potato is so low on workers. He's up, Met is up 30 workers, so it really wasn't a very good trade. However, he can afford to make a couple not so great trades with the position he's in. Viking production still, I'm wondering if he wants to possibly use those as a landing force after he snipes the Ravens. Because there isn't going to be too much anti-air here, aside from medevacs. Except here, Potato does have a couple of Vikings, so there will be a little bit. Met's production strong as well. Both players keeping their minerals low, but we see incomes here. It's almost double, more than double for Met. And in a TVT, that's, you know, worker leads are accentuated even more so because it's a mirror matchup. Good scanning from Potato, checking to the locations of the thirds, seeing if it would possibly even be a fourth now. And it looks like Met is going to try to go up here. I don't think he can really attack in here just straight up on two bases. The tank position it's just too strong, unless he does something fancy like try to drop on the high ground tank and then attack the low ground ones. I don't think it's going to happen. You might be able to drop in here. But for now, just denying the third is strong enough. Looks like Potato is loading up. Going to be trying to go for a desperation drop here. We've got two tanks and a handful of bio. There is going to be one Marine to spot this, though. Could be disastrous. And Met moving out with his Vikings. So I think that Potato, Met rather, could just probably go in and attack, possibly. But he's going to do the safe thing. He's running back with a group of bio. He's got army here at home. And will he be able to pick off one of these medevacs? Yes, he will. Not before it lands a tank, though. So, a good drop here from Potato. He's sacking a lot of his troops. However, diving on those tanks is going to pay off. And it looks like Met is going to pounce in here. Gets the disruption on tanks. Will he get it down before he can get a shell? It will go down. So many SCVs going down. The drop from Potato actually very effective here. And if this was in a much more even game, that would be could be game changing. However, losing more and more SCVs down to 27 workers, so bad here. Having to use his Raven energy on missile turrets for defense. Sorry, auto turrets for defense. Those medevacs coming home here, gonna maybe do some interception on these forces. Funnily enough, Met attacked this whole time without using his tanks. And looks like Potato's going to be able to get on top of these tanks with some Marines. So, cost-effective trade there. However, Met does have air superiority, but the bio cutting down a lot of those Vikings. Met rebuilding his third, actually sent a CC to the third that he had built already, and his fourth is up now, so he can swing back to get the third. Funnily, I mean, it's pretty crazy, but any attack that Met does here into Potato's natural, so ineffective. That one tank is just getting so much value in terms of splash. That's the thing, is that Met doesn't really need to do that, though. He can just keep denying the third base, and that is really all he needs to do. And this is actually a much more vulnerable position. He's trying to unsiege and go back, but that's not gonna. It's too little, too late for that. Meanwhile, the tank on the high ground is siege. This is the opportunity Met's been waiting for. Tato actually just gifted him this. He's gonna get the natural CC and likely the third as well. GG's called, and Met will win the game. I think that really just cut short a game that could have been much longer, but was pretty much decided at that point. So unfortunate for Potato going for the Proxy Reaper. Not panning out, though. Okay. Well, are we no longer live? Let's see, I'm getting the error code from... Oh, looks like we're live. Okay. Okay, so our next game is going to be... let's see. Ice Prelude versus Magnar. Yeah, thank you, Landfair. I was just got some of those error codes, and I wasn't sure what it was. Oh, a bit of a longer cast because of that long game. Couple pretty long games, 20 minute, 30 minute. And our next map is going to be Year Zero. Okay, in the top corner of Year Zero, we've got Ice Prelude as the light blue Zerg. And in the opposing corner, we have the dark blue Zerg, Magnar. You are the second to last left, Landfear. You've got TeamUR will be up next, and then we have J Skippy's games. Yeah, we dropped in attendance with that boring TVT, unfortunately. Not that Potato's play was boring, but just the nature of TVT I think wasn't super exciting. But cool when we see a 20 viewer peak, at least, you know, some people are checking in to see how the CTL is doing. It's cool. I'm glad if you're still with us. But I don't hold it against people who leave. So ZVZ, this should be a much quicker game. We see similar builds here. Sorry, never mind. Ice Prelude went for a 13-14, I believe. And Magna are going for a much more standard 17 pool. It's okay, so Ice Prelude is doing the Ling pressure build. The one thing about this is that Magnar will be able to get the Overlord in the natural pretty quickly, so it's not going to catch him by surprise at all. This is the same build that J Skippy did in his master set unsuccessfully. 15-14, thank you, Ice. I'm not as informed as I should be on the intricacies of ZVZ builds, and well, note is quite different from the standard 17 pool. So these Lings will be coming in, and this is a no... Oh, okay, this is big. I thought there was some sort of glitch in his build, but he's actually didn't go for speed. He misclicked getting speed. I'm positive that he misclicked it because you absolutely need speed in this. Okay, this could be huge. And the final... Magnar maybe didn't realize that doesn't know what's coming because his Overlord wasn't in the right spot and he possibly wasn't looking at what was going on. So where are the 6 lings from Ice Prelude? Looks like he's keeping them at his base. Maybe he realizes that he messed up speed, and this is something that is a desperation move. I messed up speed, what's going on? But it looks like Magnar missed it too, or instead is going for something weird. This is pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, he's got 250 gas right now, so I'm not sure what's going on with Magnar's build as well. And even though this is just so late, still, speed will finish for Ice Prelude. It's a pretty fast build considering, all else considered. So he's going to have a decent amount of lings here, quite a bit actually. So it's going to be a later delayed speed push. And meanwhile, Ice Prelude Magnar did looks like a committed 2-base roach play, or a little something, not 100% sure, but it was no speed, and there's going to be 30 speedlings in his throat here, with production a long way off. So he did a full wall in here, as there is no way for these lings to get in. However, the queens don't really have much mana to transfuse, so it's going to be 1 or 2 transfuses, and this is speedlings just beating away at these evolution chambers. He's trying to build some desperation, a secondary wall. However, okay, if he gets this up, he gets it up, but that's going to be weak. Got to fight broodlings for a second, but now he can just work on this Evo chamber, and he doesn't. Magnar doesn't have any answer to that. So, fortunately for Ice Prelude, it was kind of a dual error. Magnar just didn't scout at all, and then Ice Prelude, even though he missed speed, is still going to stomp Magnar this game. Roaches are out way too late with the 3 Evo chambers. GG is called, and Ice Prelude is the victor. That's funny. Good for Ice Prelude, but still very funny. Okay, so moving on, we are going to go into Lanfear's game. Very cool seeing his game as he's watching in chat. Watch solo. Yep, we're an old version. Okay. GG, congrats to Prelude. Ice Prelude for the win. Even though I'm sure that for those moments when he realized he missed gas, that probably felt very, very dumb there. It happens before. If build with several crucial upgrades and you miss one, it can just be a gut punch when you realize that you've missed it. Especially with these best of 1 format. That's one of the things that I personally like best of 1 format, but it's very tough. Like, if you make a significant mistake, then you're pretty much screwed, because it's a best of 1, and if you miss an upgrade that your build depends on, then it's too bad, it's brutal. And especially in ZVZ, those things can be brutal. However, still worked out for him, and I'm glad to see him play. Okay, in the side corner of the 2 o'clock position of automation, we have the Blue Zerg Akili. And in the 8 o'clock position of automation, we have the Orange Terran, none other than Lanfear. Lanfear promoted to Masters 3, so this is his last game with us in the Diamond 1 slot, most likely this season, unless he drops down for some reason, or there's a new season, which I don't think the new season's for a while, but most likely his last game with us in the Diamond slot. But we thank him for his first 2 weeks. He's a very strong macro Terran and a great player. I love when Sketchy coming in with the... I love when Terran players think Hellbat's pushes are good. I'm a huge fan of Hellbound pushes, man. We have the CC on the high ground. I think automation's just too scary of a wide open natural to really take that risk of getting the low ground natural CC. I think. Ice Prelude, you did miss your game. It was such a short game. But congratulations, Pan, on the W. It just make 10 roaches hold. Yeah, Hellbats don't do so well against roaches. I expect Lanfear to play bio. I think that's his jam. Not really much of a mech player himself. He had a Reaper. Did he get? Has he not moved in with it? Okay, moved into the natural. Has not gone up into the main yet. He's going now. However, there's 4 lings and a queen. He needs to be careful. Doesn't even get caught out. Fortunately, this map does have a large amount of room to jump back on, and he will not lose this Reaper. Gonna keep it alive to jetpack away another day. And this queen going out there. Ooh, and oh, just misses that Reaper. The queen too fat, too slow to get that Reaper. It's brutal. Okay. CC moving out. We've got the starboard coming out, so it looks like we're gonna see a 2-1-1 out from Lanfear. Stim on the way as well. Oops, sorry, my camera movement's been a little bit erratic. And ooh, okay, we've got Nidus coming out from Akili. Roach as well. Sketchy, these games are not live. They are casted from replays. Yep, I believe Lanfear has more integrity than to be stream sniping. We're not stream sniping, stream... I don't know what the definition is. Anyhow, we've got Akili with his Overlord trying to just scoot in here, get a Nidus down. Lanfear smartly has this depot up, which is going to see it before it even has a chance. And meanwhile, this Nidus is going to... Well, have bio. They didn't stim, though, so this is going to get off. But they're going to be right there. Okay. Killed it. So, it's going to be a bit of a delayed 2-on-1. Akili will know that it's coming. However, is he really going to be... Oh, okay, loses the Overlord. Are there any other Overlords on this side of the map? It doesn't look like it. That's a mistake from Akili. He needs to get another one down. And I think, all things considered, that's a pretty weak spot to... that's a pretty weak spot to do a Nidus. I mean, look at the distance from the CC. There's going to be tech. There's going to be buildings there. And I think you're going to have much better luck doing it at a third or at the natural. I don't know. I think this is just a weak map for Nidus in general. So a very, very late third coming out for our Zerg player. Lanfear, meanwhile, is supply capped. Uh-oh. Not good. No third on the way for him yet. Did he drop? Okay, he drops right now. Don't want to miss this. However, there's only a couple of roaches and queens here. Actually, there's 4 queens, so transfuses are pretty strong. And there's more than a couple of roaches. Keep misspeaking. Yeah, but moving the queens back here. Good transfuses, though. So Lanfear needs to be careful. Lanfear's gonna get out of there with 3 Marines. Not the best trade in the world, but still not a ton of damage taken. However, this drop at the third, okay, missed that. That was much, much better. That was a base killing drop, so very, very strong. I think that's why he was just chilling around for a bit too long, was to get that distraction, sell it. That depot placement, god tier. It's strong, man. I mean, hey, if you have to build depots, a ton of them, you know, make them useful, make them actually stop the Zerg from noticing you. I think the absence of a third. Okay, never mind. He's building it. I've been saying that a lot tonight. Oh, never mind, because I realized I'm wrong. So, but seems a hair late. Probably not the biggest deal in the world, however, because Achilles was delayed. Still, though, I think this could be a faster third from Lanfear. And it looks like we see him trying to go for another Nidus here. I strongly doubt this will be effective. Gory death. Dies on that worker. I don't think my computer is running the nicest graphics, so it's not super cool, but it's cool enough. Third CC moved out, and so now they are on base parity. Lanfear does have, I think, a worker lead in theory if you factor in mules. And Achilles going for Mutalisks. Interesting. I think Mutalisk can be a strong tool to get a small advantage. I'm not sure, you know, they do, I mean, it's a pretty big commitment, because then your main army is significantly weaker for a long period of time. And if you don't do enough damage and harassment, then you can't just have a bunch of dead weight floating around. However, there is no missile turrets in this inner line for Lanfear. He's going to lose a tank right off the bat. There are Vikings being produced, but he is supply capped. It's a lot of SCVs going down. The only anti-air here is these Marines, which are taking a long time to get here. So this is a very strong play. Oh, and Lanfear, with his unit selection not so strong, going to lose another tank and more SCVs here. So I think that these mutas doing an excellent job of finding damage this game. And who knows, I think that does, not completely, but I think that does level the scales quite a bit. Lanfear lost about 12 workers there, so he's down in workers, and Achilles' army is much stronger. So he's taking his fourth base, so I think that was a very, very strong Mutalisk switch. What's going on, Romsley? Thank you, subscriber. I'm dying, I'm choking. Need water. Need water, okay. Fourth base is down for Achilles. And meanwhile, he's going into a Bane Ravager composition. Got Mutalisks as well. Still chilling outside of that base. However, Lanfear is missile turreted up quite sufficiently. And it looks like Lanfear going to be trying to elevator troops in here. Okay, the main battle's going on though, and this is going to be a tough fight. There's a lot of tanks here though. So Lanfear is going to continue to elevator troops up here. Ooh, he's losing health in that medevac, which I don't like. So these troops are pretty much stranded here. The Mutalisk coming back to fight Biomarines, that is not strong. And meanwhile, this allows Lanfear to siege up at a very strong position. Oh my goodness, those Ravagers just getting destroyed. A small force of Bio as well, getting a little bit too far ahead of themselves, though. You're going to lose quite a bit of that. And there's not too much bio left here. There's just enough to kill all the mutas, though. But not this reinforcing wave. Lanfear needs to get a group of bio out here. Stat. Oh, wait a second. Don't underestimate the power of Stim Marines. GG well played, and Lanfear will win that game. Very nicely done, Lanfear, taking the series 3-3. And man, it's very unfortunate that, well, sorry, I'm not trying to spoil everything, but yeah, this very exciting. The last 2 weeks have been going into the master set 3-3. Means we've been having close series, which is very cool. Alrighty. So this is J Skippy versus Teardrop for our master set. Going to be on Port Alexander. Sound a bit low for you, Romsley. Game sound or mic sound? Tell me and I will adjust them accordingly. Entire sound. Okay, I will turn both up. Hopefully give me, is that better? I turned it up a little bit, not tons. Turn the gain up on my mic a bit, and turn the game sound up. Alright, as I'm waiting confirmation for that, I'll introduce our final set. Top corner we have J Skippy as the purple Zerg. And at the bottom we have the green Terran. It is Teardrop. Alright, I'm assuming the sound is better. So I'm going to go forward here into this Masters TVZ. Sounds good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it was a little bit low last cast, but no one pointed it out, so I assumed that it was low but bearable. You could hear me. And I believe Romsley, Spanish caster, right? Am I one of our Latin American division? It's cool to see you in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Either way. So, Port Alexander. Interesting map. It is not a good Reaper map. The Reapers cannot get in this way. However, Teardrop not phased by that. However, he's actually going to keep his Reaper at home for a bit. So I think because of he got a scouting SCV in here. This is something interesting. I think J Skippy saw that though. So he sees that, but he's going to get juked out here. This queen is so slow that he very much juked him out. So this is something very strong that if Teardrop doesn't think he's going to be able to get much damage done with the Reaper anyhow, then he can just send an SCV and get an SCV scout before Lings come out and save the Reaper. He's worried about Ling pressure. Okay, switching the tech lag back onto the barracks, and he's getting a starport. So it's gonna be a 1-1-1 from Teardrop, and I assume a fast stim. So this is gonna really test J Skippy's multitasking abilities here. and we'll see what he does. Okay, so sorry, I missed something huge. J-Skippy is going for a 2-base roach push. He's vastly delayed his third, and just going for this very much all-in type build. He's got 21 workers. So I think I don't like this build on this map just because it's very hard to press up into the main if he gets something like a tank up here. However, it will be some Hellions and then Vikings, so he's going to catch some of these Hellions here. Very strong, catches 2 Hellions in the open map, but now he knows this is here. He's getting a bunker. He's going to start production with a tank on his factory. He's got a Viking out as well, which he can land or hunt for overlords. So I think that there's a clock ticking here, and once he gets the tank up in this position, I mean, God knows how J-Skippy's going to be able to touch it. It's such a weird angle to march all the way up in a weird L shape, so I'm really worried for J-Skippy that he's not going to be able to get a lot done here. There are Ravagers, and that's going to make this tough. Okay, so he gets that depot down. He's killing a lot of SCVs, which is nice. However, the tank up is up, so now this is hard for J-Skippy. Problem is, the Banshee is out. The depot pull was very late for J-Skippy. For Teardrop, excuse me. So that was very bad. However, there's a Banshee out here getting on these Ravagers. The SCVs, he's losing a ton of SCVs, so this is strong from J-Skippy. Okay, so I think that if the depot, the defense was a little bit stronger, he might have been able to do something here. However, he's losing so many SCVs. He's on worker parity now with J-Skippy. The tank is out, so Teardrop has to defend this tank with his life. He needs to keep this tank alive here. Will he do it? Yes, he will. He needs to repair that ASAP. And Lings are still streaming in, though. There's 2 Banshees up, so Teardrop has defended. So because J-Skippy killed enough workers, I believe that J-Skippy has normalized this game to a certain amount, and now he can start macroing up. However, I think that J-Skippy is still at a pretty significant disadvantage because he's going to be forced to defend a double Banshee coming across the map, which he's not prepared to deal with. Additionally, he's got a lot of Overlords sitting around the map, which means that if Teardrop gets a couple of Marines out, he can start gunning those down, and that will not be good. Sporecrawler will be done. However, there's a lot of damage that can be had on the outskirts. He has Cloak as well. This also forces out 4 Sporecrawlers for J-Skippy. That's a lot of damage. So 2 drones here and there, exchanging a couple of drones for some HP is a trade that Teardrop will take, and J-Skippy's economy is already pretty fragile. Gonna be able to try to take advantage of some transferring drones, maybe. Oh yeah, this is J-Skippy gonna lose even more. So he's lost 7 here. And J-Skippy building his lair, not even going to try to go for a third. Going to try to go for something gimmicky, even more gimmicky perhaps. Third CC is on the way for Teardrop as well, and he's just slowly stabilizing his economy. He's up to 26 workers, and J-Skippy's up to 33. So those Banshees did a good job of getting some harassment damage for Teardrop, also scouting and seeing what's going on. So there's a Nidus. So J-Skippy is doubling down on his gimmicks this game. Unlike on Automation, I think that this is going to be a much more effective than the last game. Ooh, there's a Banshee here. Will it see it? No. Okay. So if he gets this off, this could be very strong. There's going to be 2 tanks out, with more on the way. So if the tanks are in strong positions, then it's going to be tough for J-Skippy to straight up win with this. However, I'm fairly confident that he's going to be able to get quite a bit of damage. On the flip side, though, there's a decent bioforce here in the natural, so if Teardrop pushes across the map, there's really nothing at all to defend. And there's only going to be, there's not going to be too many roaches here. There's a lot of queens. This is pretty all in for J-Skippy. This is basically his final push. Additionally, the only thing to deal with those queens, those banshees, excuse me, is these queens. And the Overseer's coming in here, so now those banshees will fall. However, there's two tanks, and those roaches being a little bit indecisive. Oh no, J-Skippy not picking a target and losing so many roaches to the tanks. That's the thing with tanks, is tanks will brutally punish indecision. Because those roaches are pretty squishy, and he can only take so much. There's another Nidus going up here, and the problem again is I believe it's going to be in range of the tank. GG, well played for J-Skippy. So, I think a last-ditch Nidus attempt. Last-ditch Nidus attempt seemed to have some promise, but the thing with roaches is that they're so squishy when they're slow that you have to dive right up on the tanks. And that's the thing I was worried about, is that the SimCity for our Terran player made it so that you had to commit to only one tank at once. So, unfortunate for J-Skippy. I think that I would have liked to see J-Skippy not go for Nidus, because he did very strong damage with that early push. He really did. More than I thought he was going to do with the two-base roach push. And, I mean, he killed so many ACVs that I think that he had a good, legitimate shot at going for a standard macro game. And I'm a little bit disappointed that he didn't just try to play it out. Good try, though. This is tough. Teardrop has a very strong, TVZ has a very strong, I keep overusing words, sorry guys, has a very effective TVZ, has a 70% win rate, I believe, which is pretty god tier. Okay, this is our final match of tonight. Our best of 3. Can J-Skippy win this game and take it to match point? Or will Teardrop close it out a victory for TeamUR? We'll find out after this game. Okay, in the bottom corner, of New Repugnancy, we have the purple Zerg, J-Skippy. And in the top corner, we have the green Terran, Teardrop. Almost out of water here. Throat's getting dry. Okay. Will J-Skippy go for that cheesy style? I mean, J-Skippy, he's kind of branding himself as a bit of a cheeser. I've seen it in a lot of his games, especially TVZs and ZVZs. I think on this map, two-base aggression, a bit of a stronger choice just because of the way the map is laid out. However, I would very much like to see J-Skippy play a standard game. So for everything normal, CC low ground, and Teardrop will send his Reaper cross map. I think what he did with the Reaper last game was just because of Port Alexander not allowing that Reaper in that cliff by the main. Which, good on Teardrop for knowing his map, knowing the nuances there. Okay, Evo Chamber is pretty fast. which leads me to believe that this is going to be a Dropper Lord build. There is one Overlord by the natural, and there's another one going up. Okay, so how do I feel about this? I think it's good. The question is, did that Reaper see that Evo Chamber? He did. So with Teardrop's game knowledge, I would not be surprised at all if he suspected something based off of that early Evo. I could be totally wrong that this is Dropper Lords, but typically when we see that super fast Evo, that's more of a PVZ thing, CVP thing, but I'm wondering, maybe he was just going for a fast melee attack. Okay, maybe I'm completely wrong. That was quite popular once upon a time. It was an insane part of the meta for, I don't know, especially ZVP for, maybe that was like 8 months ago. But so far we haven't seen that upgrade. So it looks like it's going to be, instead of a Dropper Lord attack, it's going to be Bane Pressure. And he may suspect this. So we saw the fast Evo. Didn't see the Bane nest. Seeing it wouldn't be too crazy. Well, seeing it would tip his hand a lot. For the army composition, I'm not sure I feel about going for a Bane Bust here. We have this Viking out here who's going to start clearing Overlord, which is nice. There's going to be Hellions in production soon. We got Stim started, and a Liberator on the way as well. However, there's a CC in the middle of this wall, so if this is okay, J Skippy catching Lings out in the middle, catching Hellions out in the middle of the map, that's very strong. And because it looks like J Skippy, I'm over the place. Looks like Teardrop is going for Hellions, but he's delaying he didn't build too many Marines. I think this could be very strong. So he's morphing. Oh, okay, this is absolutely heartbreaking for J Skippy. He sees the Banelings coming in, and he has a Liberator up, which is going to one-shot those Banelings, which is going to be very strong. But the Banelings waddling in here. How is the reaction time going to be? He needs to go now. Sacking onto that. Okay, and it could be a very good connection. There's a strong connection with those workers. He's getting a ton of worker kills. Liberator putting in work on reinforcing Lings. So this forces a liftoff here. And remember, J Skippy's on third base, so this isn't quite as all-in as last game. There's double eBay chamber at the natural. Going to be getting those upgrades. Teardrop went for a tank, not Hellions. So that means that J Skippy has 0% chance of getting into the natural. Sorry, of getting into the main, rather. I would like J Skippy at this point to go home and just play standard, because unless he gets a big Baneling Morphin, I don't think there's a chance of him getting an attack successfully up into the main, especially with this Liberator pressuring. Just cancel the +1 and go home. Liberator in a very good spot, though. It's making it difficult. But he's losing more Banelings. That's the thing, is there's not enough Banelings. J Skippy, this is a wasted attack. Liberator's so effective at killing Banelings that attack was very weak. He's going to be able to finish off the +1/+1, which is very nice. However, the drone production, even with all the workers J Skippy killed, Teardrop still has the lead. He also has 3 CCs up now, so it means he's going to have a second and third, natural and a third rather, up very soon. Meanwhile, that Viking prowling around the map, I think it's going to move up to 4 Overlord kills. They're deciding to not engage that. Interesting. But 3 Overlord kills, still quite significant. So now J Skippy's droning. I think he should have started this phase earlier. Ooh, actually, J-Skippy could come in here and try to... Oh, J-Skippy's just going to be a moment too late. This is brutal. While the Lings all funnel up, and... Okay, he's splitting the Lings effectively. What is... Oh, no. Okay, so not the best micro in that dive. However, still getting a tank is nice, but he could have, theoretically, I think, gotten all 3 of those tanks if he didn't... He attacked the Marines for quite a bit. Liberator here trying to be annoying. He might lose that if he's not careful. And that Queen there goes down. We're getting that very low overlord. So J-Skippy's about even on workers. However, his army supply is so low. He committed everything he had into that one fight, trying to dive on tanks, and he's droning up very hard. He's got 60 drones now. So he's going to be very weak. This drop is coming in. I'm worried for J-Skippy that he's not going to be able to defend it because he basically has 0 army. Especially at the third, there's 1 queen and a spore caller. It's not going to be nearly enough. So that's the thing with Zerg is that you misallocate a bunch of larvae and it can be dead because you can be dead because that 17 drones or whatever you build, he needs those, some of those to be Lings right now, and the fact that they're not means this third base is most likely going down. And there's 22 Lings being produced, but really what he needs is Banes. Lings are pretty crap against Sim Marines. He's going to be able to kill some of those Lings as they pop out. Another Queen goes down. Getting this gas geyser, he can now start to work on that third. That third is definitely going to go down. Luckily, he does have a 4th. J-Skippy does, he can transfer to there. But so does Teardrop. Teardrop has his 3rd up and running now. He's got mule production. He's restarted. He already has +1/+1 finished and has +2 on the way as well. Teardrop going for a biotank style. A style we've seen a lot of from seeing more of instead of just pure bio. I think the tanks really add a lot of value in the long run, although they take a lot more work to position correctly and to use effectively. Oops, looks like the stream went down for a little bit. Hopefully it's good now. So I missed that. Looks like decent. He had a couple of SCVs at least forced to pull. Yeah, Landfear, J-Skippy, he's very strong for sure. I think Teardrop's just a very strong TVZ player, and this Masters 2 level, it's very tough. These slow Banelings, however, are going to be no match for anything that Teardrop has. There's not much here, just Lings, Speedlings coming out here. Bane speed, I'm sure that was a misclick. He meant to build that earlier. Maybe he could have gotten a more cost-effective army trade if he had speed. Bane's is hard to tell, but that attack just went very poorly for J-Skippy, and Teardrop's marching in here, gonna get all this damage. Bane's finally connecting, getting a tank or 2. GG, well played is called. Unfortunately, J-Skippy, man, it's rough. He's had 2 good series. He lost both of them, unfortunately. However, still thank him for playing. And yeah, he's a very good player, even though he did not get the best of what he's doing. That I'm getting that looks like my stream is dying. Maybe we're good. I'm at like... I'm in the little red box on OBS. Okay. Alright, looks like we're good now. I think my internet's getting a little bit choppy. It's snowing and raining pretty hard out, so I'm sure that somewhere there's some sort of something happening to Comcast. Okay, well, GG, well played to... Sorry, wrong screen. Meant to go to out of game. Huge props to everyone who played. Again, appreciate you guys showing up. You know, we didn't get any walkovers yet, and appreciate that. Shows that another, you know, guys just respecting the league and showing up and playing. It means a lot to me and everyone on the team, Sniper, Sippy, all those guys who are helping up, that you guys are putting in work. Lanfear, I live in South Jersey, in the middle of the actual forest where the Jersey Devil was born. I don't think, actually not too familiar with that legend, but feels like it. I'm going to raid Xeno in a second. But yeah, we're going into a bye week, guys. So, be prepared for that. I know I've been really busy the last couple of days, haven't been able to do much in the way of preparations. Although, Sniper has been as always, enthusiastic and very helpful. So, appreciate him and all the other guys putting in work. So yeah. Alright. That's the rambling version of my conclusions. So I will see you in 2 weeks' time with our Jam It replays. So good luck to everyone playing in that week if you are watching. And yeah, prep hard. We're gonna be preparing. We need to win all the rest of our matches to have a shot at the playoffs. We did lose the last 2 weeks. It really sucks. I mean, they're 3-4 losses. If one match would have been different, then we would have won 4-3, and we'd be 2-0 right now. So that's frustrating for me that we lose. However, sometimes we lose games that are rough. We hope to come out strong in the second half of the season. So yeah, and that's thanks to you guys for putting in all the hard work. All right, hope everyone has a great week who's watching this. Yeah, the snow and the rain and the freezing everything. Hopefully everyone's safe. You too, Sniper. And I hope everyone has a fantastic night. And I will see you in 2 weeks' time. All right. Peace, guys. Take it easy.